do yours on, yeah, Julian?
Well, it's a miserable Saturday morning. We're in Bulwell, and this chap. Hiya. You are the local candidate for Nottingham North?
Yes, Julian Carter for the Brexit Party, candidate for Nottingham North.
I've seen you out here quite a while now.
All weathers.
All weathers, miserable days, nice days, handing out leaflets and newspapers representing the Brexit Party.
Yes.
Answering people's questions.
That's why I'm here. People need answers. If I'm going to be interviewed for a very important job, I've got to give the people of this constituency the opportunity to interview me, and I've got to be here.
Right, okay. Am I okay to ask you a few questions? I've got a few questions of
Please do. Please do.
Yep, you don't mind on camera? Okay.
Not at all.
Right, first question is, what would you say to those people who are so confused, don't know what to think, let alone how to vote?
I appreciate it's very difficult. The media has deliberately made it so. Their campaigns have been the word obfuscation. It's to give you so much information that you really don't know how to think. However, what I've been saying on the doorstep, and it's been very well received, it's quite simple. People are feeling powerless because of that lack of trust, because your vote has been ignored since 2016. Now it's a case of clearing the cupboards. People have got to clearly get rid of the Remainers, and it's as simple as that. We've got to reboot politics, and the only way to do that is to be brave and to clear those cupboards of those unwanted politicians.
Excellent. Right. Question two. What would you say to the people who say, why should I bother to vote when they ignored my vote last time?
That is the main thing people have been saying on the doorstep. Sadly, it reminds me very much of the communities that I've worked in Bosnia, where people had lost all their power, their democracy had gone. People, to me, it's the same emotion, same feeling. And what I'm saying is take heart, keep going. I've had a number of people who've said, after having spoken to me, where they were not going to vote, they now are, and vote for the Brexit Party, because they're appreciating that we're going to listen to their needs and wants. We've now got our contract, our social contract with the public, as we published our policies yesterday. But going back to the question, people are appreciating that we represent the change that they wanted and voted for in 2016.
Okay. Next question, how will you make a difference in Nottingham North?
Jobs are needed. We've got this plan for thousands and thousands of council houses or new housing. Now, I've worked in this sector. Part of my job is to do expert witness work. So I bring that knowledge back into that procurement process. And also, what I want to see are changes to the building regulations. They're not fit for purpose in the 21st century. And also,
you're an engineer.
I'm an engineer by profession.
Yeah.
And flooding is something we design against. I think the designs are poor, they're poorly built. We're building in places where relatively we shouldn't be building. And so for Nottingham North as well, in terms of employment, we've got world-class engineering on our doorstep with Rolls-Royce. We're looking at nuclear power, the nuclear small modular reactor systems. That technology is there waiting to be unlocked. But at the moment we can't because of EU rules. So I want to see industry flourish, which is already here, because we can when we leave the EU.
Okay, next one is, what do you consider the key issues in Nottingham North?
People on the doorstep, and I've seen it from my own eyes, the standard of accommodation. I'm seeing properties, whilst they have been maintained to a degree, that maintenance is poor. And I've seen many properties that have actually been physically damaged by those activities because the work hasn't been managed properly. Now, also, I'm seeing properties where people are living in housing association, third-party landlord property. Those landlords are not protecting the properties.
I agree.
There's a great deal needs to be done. If it's regulation, but more so it's applying the regulations that already exist. It's the will to enforce, and that's very important to me. And again, it comes back to making those people who feel that they're at the bottom of the pile, making them feel valued because you listen. That's more important.
One more question. Can you explain to the people why Nigel Farage stood down over 200 candidates?
Very hard decision. We knew that the big issue was splitting the vote. Most people, 6 weeks ago, the big thing was splitting the vote, and that consistently came through as the message from the public. In doing that, it's very clear that we're putting country before politics. So if we're going to change politics for good, we let the people know and prove that by not splitting the vote, and that is why those 200 plus seats are Conservative Leave seats. Let's be clear, they are Conservative Leave seats which we have no wish to challenge, because we want the Brexit that we all voted for in 2016. And as hard as it is, I believe it's the right thing that we've done.
I understand. Nice one. Julian, thank you very much.
You're welcome, thank you very much.
Cheers.